The streets of Los Angeles were unusually quiet that morning, with the faint hum of the city waking up in the distance. Elon Musk, dressed in a casual black hoodie and sneakers, stepped out of his home for his usual walk. His mind buzzed with ideas about Mars colonies, neural interfaces, and clean energy, thoughts that often consumed his day. But today was different. As he strolled along a tree-lined street, a faint whimper caught his attention. He paused, scanning his surroundings, and saw a tiny, scruffy puppy peeking out from behind a bush. Its fur was matted and its ribs showed through its frail body. The puppy locked eyes with Elon, letting out another timid whine as if calling for help. Elon crouched down and extended his hand. The puppy hesitated, but then took a few cautious steps forward. "Hey there, little guy," Elon said softly, his voice filled with a tenderness rarely seen in public. At that moment, something shifted. The tech billionaire, known for his groundbreaking innovations, felt an inexplicable pull. It wasn't about logic or efficiency, it was about connection. Without a second thought, he scooped up the shivering puppy and whispered, "Let's get you fixed up." Sometimes the smallest moments lead to the greatest stories. Stay tuned to discover how this little puppy changed the life of one of the busiest men in the world. Like, subscribe, and share to inspire others with the power of kindness. Elon carefully held the trembling puppy in his arms as he walked back to his Tesla, parked a few blocks away. The little creature seemed to relax, its small head resting against Elon's chest as if it finally felt safe. Elon smiled, a rare, genuine moment of peace amidst the chaos of his daily life. Sliding into the driver's seat, Elon placed the puppy on the passenger seat, wrapping it in his hoodie to keep it warm. He spoke aloud, a habit he'd picked up during years of brainstorming alone. "What should I call you? Hobart. How about Hobart?" He chuckled, glancing at the street sign nearby. The puppy gave a tiny yawn, almost as if in agreement. As the car glided silently down the road, Elon's mind shifted from the usual complexities of rocket science and AI to something much simpler: how to care for this tiny, fragile life. At the next stop, he searched for the nearest animal clinic on his Tesla's screen. When they arrived, the clinic staff looked surprised to see one of the world's richest men walk in with a stray puppy cradled in his arms. Elon's fame didn't matter here. His concern for Hobart was what stood out. "He's malnourished and possibly injured," Elon explained. "Do whatever it takes to make him okay." At the animal clinic, Hobart's transformation began. The veterinarians gently examined him while Elon stood nearby, watching with a mix of concern and curiosity. The puppy was dehydrated, underweight, and covered in dirt, but the vet reassured Elon. With care and proper nutrition, he'll recover quickly. As they bathed Hobart, his scruffy fur revealed patches of white and tan underneath the grime. His big, expressive eyes peered out, filled with a mix of gratitude and uncertainty. Elon found himself smiling again, a warmth spreading through him that felt oddly unfamiliar. "Why does this feel more fulfilling than designing rockets?" Elon muttered to himself, leaning against the wall. The vet chuckled. "Because sometimes the simplest acts of kindness remind us what matters most." After a few hours, Hobart emerged from the clinic a different puppy, clean, bandaged where needed, and already wagging his tail faintly. Elon picked him up, cradling him as though he were holding something priceless. "You're going to be okay now, Hobart," he whispered. As they left the clinic, the vet handed Elon a small bag of supplies. "Puppies can be a handful," she said with a smile. Elon replied, "If I can build reusable rockets, I think I can handle one puppy." Back home, Elon gently placed Hobart on a soft blanket in the corner of his minimalist living room. The puppy, still unsure of his surroundings, sniffed cautiously at the blanket, then curled into a small ball. For a moment, Elon just watched him, fascinated by how something so small could evoke such big emotions. Elon wasn't used to this kind of companionship. His life was filled with engineers, meetings, and the constant hum of innovation. Yet watching Hobart settle in, he felt a sense of calm he hadn't known he needed. He sat cross-legged on the floor, letting the puppy come to him. "You know, Hobart," he said softly, "I spend my days solving the biggest problems humanity faces. But maybe it's the little things like you that keep us grounded." Over the next few days, Hobart began to trust Elon fully. The once weak puppy started exploring the sleek, high-tech home, occasionally stumbling into rooms filled with prototype gadgets and futuristic designs. Elon couldn't help but laugh as Hobart barked at a robotic vacuum or tried to chase a laser pointer. One evening, Elon shared Hobart's story on social media. He posted a photo of the now happier pup with the caption, "Found this little guy on a walk." A reminder that sometimes the smallest encounters make the biggest impact. The post went viral within hours, with millions commenting on the kindness and simplicity of the story. Hobart quickly became a fixture in Elon's life, bringing unexpected joy to his demanding schedule. Mornings that were once consumed by hurried meetings now started with a walk around the neighborhood. Hobart trotted alongside Elon, his tail wagging with excitement as if he had no care in the world. In the afternoons, Hobart would nap under Elon's desk during work calls, occasionally letting out soft snores that made Elon chuckle in the middle of discussing complex engineering problems. "Sorry, that's Hobart," he would explain to puzzled colleagues on video calls. It became an ongoing joke at Tesla and SpaceX, with employees occasionally referring to Hobart as the unofficial chief canine officer. One evening, after a long day of meetings, Elon found himself sitting on the floor, tossing a small ball to Hobart. As the puppy bounded across the room, Elon marveled at how something so simple could bring so much joy. "You're teaching me balance, little buddy," he murmured. That night, as Hobart curled up beside him on the couch, Elon scrolled through his social media feed. Thousands of messages poured in from people sharing stories of how they had adopted animals inspired by Hobart's tale. One comment stood out, "Thank you for showing us that even the busiest people can make time for kindness." Elon stared at the screen for a moment before replying, "It's the least we can do." One sunny weekend, Elon decided Hobart needed an adventure. "You've been cooped up in here too long, buddy. Let's show you a bit of the world," Elon said, gently scratching behind Hobart's ears. He packed a few essentials, puppy treats, water, and a blanket, and the two set off in Elon's Tesla Cybertruck. Their destination? A sprawling green park on the outskirts of Los Angeles. Hobart's excitement was palpable. As soon as they arrived, he leapt out of the car, his tiny paws padding across the grass as he barked at squirrels and chased butterflies. Elon followed behind, his usually brisk pace replaced by a leisurely stroll, a rare smile gracing his face. Families and joggers recognized Elon immediately, but their attention soon shifted to the playful puppy darting around his feet. Hobart had a way of stealing the spotlight, even from a global icon like Elon Musk. While sitting on a bench, Elon met an elderly woman walking her own dog. She struck up a conversation, her tone kind and curious. "I didn't expect to see you here. That's quite the companion you've got." Elon nodded, watching Hobart with a softness in his eyes. "He found me, actually. Funny how life works sometimes. He's taught me more about slowing down in a few weeks than I've learned in years." The woman smiled knowingly. Sometimes the smallest beings have the biggest lessons to teach. As the days went by, Elon and Hobart's bond only grew stronger. The puppy had a knack for making every day feel special, even in the midst of Elon's chaotic schedule. There were mornings when Elon would wake up to find Hobart curled beside him, and evenings when he would return home to see the puppy wagging his tail, ready to shower him with affection. One particularly busy afternoon, Elon was in a meeting discussing a potential breakthrough in solar energy technology. His mind was focused, sharp, and immersed in numbers and projections. But as he spoke, his eyes drifted to Hobart, who was lying peacefully in the corner, watching him. For a moment, everything else faded away. The noise of the meeting, the deadlines, the pressure, all of it seemed insignificant compared to the quiet, unconditional presence of the little dog who had taught him so much about slowing down and appreciating the small things in life. After the meeting, Elon took a break and sat outside with Hobart. The puppy jumped up on his lap, nudging his face with his wet nose. Elon laughed, petting him gently. "I've been so focused on changing the world, Hobart. Sometimes I forget that it's the simple moments that really matter." It wasn't just about technology or ambition anymore. Hobart had shown Elon a side of life he had neglected, the power of compassion, of being present, and of finding joy in the little things. Elon shared these thoughts with his social media followers, posting a picture of Hobart snuggling on his lap with the caption, "In a world constantly moving forward, sometimes you need to stop and enjoy what's right in front of you. Thank you, Hobart, for reminding me." Elon's bond with Hobart began to inspire those around him. Employees at Tesla and SpaceX, who had witnessed his hectic work habits for years, noticed a change in his demeanor. There was a calmness to him now, a softness that had been absent before. He seemed more focused, more patient, traits he attributed to his newfound companion. One afternoon, during a visit to a SpaceX facility, Elon was approached by one of his engineers, a woman named Lily, who had always been a bit reserved. She smiled shyly and said, "I saw your post about Hobart. It made me think about getting a dog." Elon raised an eyebrow, surprised. "Really? What's stopping you?" Lily shrugged, a bit hesitant. "I guess I've been too caught up in work. I wasn't sure if I had the time to care for one." Elon thought for a moment, then said, "If I can find time for a puppy with everything going on in my life, you can too. It's all about making space for the things that matter. Hobart has taught me that." Lily smiled, her eyes lighting up with newfound determination. "You're right. I think I'm going to adopt one." Soon after, word spread that employees at both Tesla and SpaceX were adopting pets, inspired by Elon's story. The ripple effect of compassion was felt far beyond Elon's inner circle, creating a movement of kindness within his companies. People who had once focused solely on achieving the next big breakthrough began to understand the importance of balance, of caring for both their work and their well-being. As weeks turned into months, Hobart's presence in Elon's life continued to make waves, not just within his companies, but in the broader world. Elon's story of adopting the stray puppy, who had found him on that quiet morning, became a symbol of kindness in an often chaotic world. Media outlets shared the tale, and it was covered on news networks as an example of compassion in the midst of success. But for Elon, the real impact was personal. Hobart had shown him the importance of nurturing relationships, not just with humans, but with animals and the world around him. He began to advocate more for animal adoption, using his platform to promote shelters and organizations that helped rescue animals. "Adopting a pet isn't just a gift for the animal, it's a gift for you too," he said during a TED Talk, a statement that resonated with millions. Elon also found himself increasingly drawn to causes that focused on environmental sustainability, from reducing waste to supporting animal welfare. Hobart's influence on him was profound. It wasn't just about adopting a puppy, but about embracing the responsibility of caring for all life, big and small. One day, as Elon and Hobart stood on the balcony of his home watching the sun set over the city, Elon reflected on how much had changed since that fateful day when Hobart had followed him home. "You came into my life at the perfect time," Elon murmured. "You reminded me that there's more to this world than building rockets. There's love, kindness, and the little moments that make everything worthwhile." Hobart, as if on cue, rested his head on Elon's lap, his big eyes looking up at him with trust and affection. Elon Musk's bond with Hobart not only transformed his personal life, but also created a lasting legacy. The puppy who had once been abandoned on a quiet street became a symbol of the simple yet profound joys that life could offer. Hobart's story inspired millions to open their hearts, adopt animals, and embrace kindness in a world that often felt too fast-paced and impersonal. Through his newfound perspective, Elon launched an initiative to support animal shelters, donating millions to help rescue and care for pets in need. He partnered with various organizations to encourage adoption and raise awareness about the importance of treating all creatures with respect. Years later, as Elon stood in front of a crowd at a charity event for animal welfare, Hobart by his side, he shared the lesson that had changed him. When we slow down and open our hearts, we see the world differently. We learn to appreciate the small moments, and in doing so, we make the world a kinder, better place. Hobart, now older and wiser, wagged his tail from the stage as if to echo Elon's sentiment. Together they had transformed lives, starting with their own. And as Elon looked down at the little dog who had become a cornerstone of his life, he realized the greatest discovery was not in rockets or technology. It was in the simple, life-changing power of love and compassion.